Okay, today I'm going to do a short video on the differences between quartz or battery powered watches and mechanical watches and how to tell the difference. These days the majority of watches are electrically powered, so they're battery or quartz watches. They either have a replaceable battery in them or they have a storage cell which is recharged somehow. There are solar watches like the Ecodrive in the middle, or kinetic watches from Seiko which are charged with a movable rotor like a mechanical automatic watch. The other type of watch is the mechanical watch. This is how clocks and watches started way back when they were first made, and that's powered by a mainspring which is wound somehow. It's either wound just by hand, just by winding the crown of the watch, or by a spinning rotor at the back, or quite often both. So here we've got a Quartz Ecodrive which is solar powered, and you can see that the second hand moves in 1 second, jumps and ticks. This one's actually fairly quiet, so you won't hear it tick. But if we pull the crown out, you'll see that it will do what's called hack, which is the second hand will stop. Then when we push the crown back in again, off it goes. And you can't see any of the inside of the watch because the back's solid. Of course, the easiest way to tell is to take the back off. And if we have a look at this old Ripcurl here, which is a quartz watch, and take the back off it, you can see straight away there's a battery, a little bit of electronics, and not much else. So that immediately tells you it's a battery watch. With a mechanical watch, it can be a bit trickier. Here we've got a mechanical Chinese watch with the nice smooth sweeping second hand. This one's easy to tell because if you turn it over, it's got a display case at the back, a display case back, and so you can move the rotor. This is an automatic watch, and it can be hand wound, and you can see the little balance wheel there ticking back and forth. With an automatic like this, it's much harder to tell because it's got a solid case back. And so although it's got a smooth second hand, you couldn't be 100% sure. This old Seiko 5 has stopped, and that's because it's an automatic only watch. You can't wind it by winding the crown. If we give it a quick shake, we should see that it leaps into action and starts ticking away. And this also has a display case back, and so you can see that there are little moving parts in there. There are a few watches which can get a bit tricky. Of course, some of them are dead easy like that. Some are even easier, like this Premier Seiko, because not only has that got a smooth sweeping second hand, but it's also got a display case in the middle of the dial, and so you can actually see the mechanism through the front of the watch, which makes it extremely easy to tell. Seiko have got a spring drive, which I don't have here, which has a very, very smooth second hand, but they're the only people who make it, and so if you come across one of those, it shouldn't be too hard to tell. The other type of watch which has a sweeping second hand but is battery powered is a Bulova tuning fork watch from the 60s, which was predated quartz. That's got a very smooth second hand, but you can normally hear those because you can hear the tuning fork hum, so if you hold it up to your ear you can normally tell. The other oddball watch is another one from Bulova, This is a modern watch, and if you first looked at that, you might think that it was an automatic, but in fact that's a smooth sweeping hand quartz watch. It's it's what they call an HEQ watch. It's accurate to 10 seconds a year, but they've designed it so that it has a smooth sweeping hand, which makes it very tricky to tell from an automatic unless you know about the watch. The only other ones which you may have a few problems with are something like a Longines, where in some of their models they make an absolutely identical looking watch in both quartz and automatic. So if you were ever buying one second hand on eBay or somewhere similar, you'd have to double check to make sure that you knew exactly what you were getting. Okay, hope that helped. Thanks very much.